What up, yeah? It's Papa Swole, yo. Yeah, it's episode 454, yo. The Daily Sleazy. The Daily Sleazy. The Daily Sleazy. The Daily Sleazy. The Daily Sleazy.
The sun is shining. The birds are chirping. The bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
The Daily Sleazy. Welcome, bitches, to episode 454 of the Daily Mother Swole. The most muscular swole cast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all tickle the four. We all flex our biceps. Let me get that in there. Welcome to 454. Thank you for joining me. If you're joining me for the first time, I apologize. It's only going to get fucking weirder, so get used to it. But welcome every day, live at 12 noon Eastern time. Every episode also on YouTube, and you can listen. You can listen. You can listen. You can bang your ear holes with all my knowledge nukes all the time. Every episode, SoundCloud or iTunes. SoundCloud, iTunes. Thanks, Dustin. Loving the hair. And we are live. So if you're watching on YouTube or you're listening, I am live. So if I'm talking to someone and I say the name like Dustin, and I say the name like Gina, like thanks, Gina, for the love. What up, Tommy? If I say these names, it's because people are jumping in, watching me gain mass live. And I always say this, but if you have never, and I don't think you're not going to find this anywhere. And that's why this is the Daily Swole. You're not going to find any live broadcast. I challenge you. I challenge you to find a live broadcast where you can watch someone gain sick fucking mass live on camera. Right now, you're watching it. Proof is in the pudding, and the pudding is in my biceps. Welcome to 454. Welcome to the absolute fucking psychotic gain train. Today's episode is the final episode in a series of core destruction. It's not the final core episode, but because the core workshop, the core training workshop is tonight, esta noche at 8 p.m., this is going to be in that theme. We're going to talk a little bit more about core today, about core movement and core stabilization. So if you're ready for the core train, let's get on a ride. Hey, K2 and Everest. Look at that. That's right. What up? K2 and Everest flexing on you. I had to put down the big coffee mug. Ba, 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 ba. There we go. All right, that's it. That's it. I don't want to hurt myself, and I don't want to. If you're watching for the first time and you don't have your phone in landscape, I recommend you turning into landscape mode. That way you can see all the gains. And if you have, a regular iPhone 6 or one of those like 5Cs, or you really need like a tablet. You need a tablet or a smart TV. So I recommend that if you can. That way you can get all the gains. All the gains. So I mean, even if you're on a 6S Plus or something, or a 7S, you're getting most of it. You're getting most of it. I mean, I actually have been working with development with Apple and Samsung for the past year or so. Actually, it's been about 2 years. Working hardcore development, and one of the reasons why all their phones now, like the iPhone 8 that's coming out and the Note Plus, they're all going straight to the bezels. They're getting rid of the buttons, they're getting rid of the frames, they're getting rid of the edges, is so you can watch the Daily fucking Swole and see the entire picture right there on your phone. So the technology is coming. It's probably going to cost a pretty penny, but it's coming. It's coming. So, we've been working diligently to make sure that we can try to get all the mass on your portable mobile device. So you're welcome in advance, and I hope you enjoy it. And I think our iPhone Swole series is launching in the fall, so totally cool. Top of the afternoon. Oi, Mark Comerford. Welcome, lad. Let's get started, shall we? Let's get started. Core stabilization versus core movement. And obviously I haven't had enough coffee, so obviously I should probably just keep drinking, right? I don't have enough energy today. So I apologize if I'm a little bit in a low mood. Thank you. Ow, I burned my elbow. Fuck. All right, core stabilization. We have the core. And if you don't know what the core is, you need to watch some of the other episodes, because the core, we've established that over and over again. Pelvis to the cervical spine. So you have a couple things. You have core movement, and you also have core stabilization. We'll just call it stability because I don't have enough room to write stabilization. So you have two things. You have core movement and you also have core stability. Now, because you have these two different things, you have different systems. They're just literally different systems. They're different systems. They're different synergistic groups of muscles that will work to provide these tasks. That's it. You don't know this. I mean, some of you that watch this, maybe you do, but you don't know this because you don't have to. Like, your body does this on its own. So it's not like, oh, I have to learn about core movement and core stability so I can move properly. Well, yes, if we're going to be retraining, like I'm going to be talking about tonight in the workshop, but if you're retraining your body, yes, but your body does this naturally. You don't have to, as you're born, you don't have to teach your body about core movement, about core stability. You know that you can go through life 100 years and never say these words and live fine and be healthy potentially, and all that stuff. Are you watching? Are you watching? Are you sleeping? Are you comatose? Float some hearts and float some thumbs. Let me know you're still fucking alive. I hate that shit. Wake up. Wake up. Drop some comments. Let me know what you think about core training. Do something. Make yourself, yes, float some thumbs. Now I'm even more upset because I know you're watching and you're just getting lazy. Don't get lazy on the Swole. And that's another thing. I can't see you. You can see me. I said this yesterday. I can't see you. So I need to know that you're alive, that I'm not talking to myself, and that you're enjoying the gains. Yeah. Losing them frames. What does that mean? Bro, I'm working. I'm working. Yeah, just float a couple. Doesn't take much. Use a little thumb action. It's what separates us from the beasts, from the gorillas, the opposable thumb. It allows us to like pictures and stuff. That's, and share the broadcast. Oh yeah, hit the share button. Don't forget about that. Movement and stability. So you have core movement, you have core stability. So core movement is going to provide, it's going to provide movement. Core movement is going to provide movement. So it's going to provide things like, let's say, spinal flexion. Ooh, big words. Big words. Hey-oh. And what spinal flexion means is, it's like a crunch, okay? I'm not going to get too much into the details. Stability is going to do what? Stabilize. So it's going to do things like compression, it's going to resist rotation. We're just going to say compressive forces. It's going to use that. Just going to use that, compression and just keeping things tight. Now, what are we most familiar with in society? What are we most familiar with? What are we more aware of when it comes to abdominal training? You want a six-pack, right? You want, for example, you want to see abs. You want to see what's on the front, okay? By training your core, by doing ab work, you want a six-pack, right? You want a six-pack, you want to see your muscles. Well, that is not, unfortunately, what's going to prevent back pain. You have so many people that have back pain. Oh, I need to strengthen my abs, I need to strengthen my core, to strengthen my lower back. And they go and do crunches all day. That's absolutely incorrect, and it's going to cause more problems, because what you're doing by doing a crunch or a sit-up or any kind of movement where you're doing any kind of like movement with the spine, you're literally doing movement. You're not stabilizing. And stabilizing in those compression forces are what's going to prevent lower back injury. Prevent or improve the chance that there won't be a back injury, like decrease the risk of injury. It's going to provide stability around the lower back. So if you have chronic lower back pain, this is a type of training you should be doing. Stability training, stability for the core. And there are many different aspects of stability for the core, and there are many different ways to go about it to hit all the muscles, not just in the midsection, but all the way up to the cervical spine, the entire core. And that's what we're gonna be going over tonight in the workshop. That's gonna be a lot more detail. The movement are great, or movement is great, whatever. It's, you want that. You want that. You want to be, able to bend the spine. You want to be able to rotate the obliques and those things. But those don't prevent, I shouldn't say that. I mean, it's all going to have a role. But this role is different than what people think it is. Okay, these are the ones that you can see. For example, you'll get muscles like the rectus abdominis, the six pack, the superficial muscles. This gets a little bit more deep. You have the internal obliques, you have the multifidus muscles, you have the pelvic floor muscles, you have the transverse abdominis, the muscles that you cannot see from the surface. You can't see from the outside, they're deep. Okay, these are more on the surface. So like for example, right now, whatever you're looking at me, when you see my biceps, when you see my pecs and stuff, you're seeing superficial muscles. When it comes to the core, the same thing. When you have a six pack, you're seeing superficial muscles, you're seeing movement muscles. You're seeing the fancy muscles, you're seeing the ones that, hey, when I bend, when I crunch, the abdominals shorten like an accordion. The stabilization muscles are the ones that are most responsible for preventing injury. And when you have issues with the core, when I tell you that the core is weak, that you're not firing the core properly, because if you're not aware of this, you're at a loss. You're at a high risk, and it doesn't mean that you're gonna get hurt tomorrow or today, but it could be 2 months, 2 weeks, 2 years down the road. And it's not gonna be pretty. It could be something like a slip disc. It could be something like, a herniation. It could be something bad. I don't want that to happen. When you get training programs or you see things on TV or you read things in a magazine, more often than not, they're talking about this. They're talking about crunches. They're talking about leg raises. They're talking about all these things using the tools you see at the gym. The great thing about stability exercise is that you don't really need any equipment. Can you use equipment and hit stability? Sure, you can get equipment, but you don't need it. That's why this workshop tonight is gonna be fucking lit, because you could do it with me and you could do it in your living room. You could do it in a small space. And stability is going to set you up for reduced risk of pain, reduced risk of injury, and it's gonna set you up for developing these even more, because check this out. Check this out. If you have more stability, you can have better movement. It's very hard to produce strength. It's very hard to produce proper movement. It's very hard to produce any kind of force safely. And the reason why I say it like that is because you can provide force without safety. You could just provide raw force, but if you don't have the stable foundation, you're risking the joints. This is the reason this concept of movement and stability is the same concept that relates to the upper body when people hurt their rotator cuff doing chest press. They don't hurt their pectoralis major, they don't hurt their pectoralis minor, they don't hurt their biceps, they don't hurt their triceps, they don't hurt their deltoid, they hurt their rotator cuff because they don't have the stability and they're trying to do movement. So it's that clash, it's that balance between movement and stability, and having the proper stability and the proper foundation at the joint, so the bigger muscles, so the superficial muscles, so the more powerful muscles can produce force safely. They work together. It's not like, oh, that's more important and these suck, or these are great and those are stupid. They work together. But most people are looking in Men's Health and all these stupid fucking websites and Instagram, and you're seeing movement. You're seeing movement, or you're seeing stability, but the person that's showing you doesn't have the fucking slightest idea of what they're really showing you or why they're showing you. They're just demonstrating an exercise. Oh, cool, hit the like button, cool, she has a nice ass, cool. There's no context there. And there's no knowledge, they don't know. They're just doing stuff, and oftentimes they're doing it wrong. And when it comes to these types of exercises in particular, improper form is catastrophic, because when it gets to stability and compression in these types of exercises, you're teaching your body literally at the core level. You're teaching at the base level how something should be done. You're teaching it the structure, giving it the DNA of the movement. And if you don't have that perfect, everything else is at risk. And that's why people hurt small little muscles when they're doing strength movements, because they don't have stability. So movement is built upon stability, and it happens with core and it happens with every muscle around the body. Movement in the scheme of things will sit on top. You try having movement without proper stability. You try having movement without proper foundation. Good luck with that shit. You're gonna hurt yourself. You're gonna hurt yourself, and that's why people that start doing all this movement stuff, like, oh no, CrossFit, I'm gonna go do all these things overhead, I'm gonna run, I'm gonna bend in all these weird fucking ways, they get hurt. That's why people that go to the gym get hurt, because they don't have stability. They don't have the proper activation. They go and they do all this, oh, this is cool, let me do a group exercise class, and they fuck themselves up because they don't have the proper stability. You know, the proper conditioning of these smaller muscles. You know, the proper foundation. You're trying to do this, and when you get rid of that, the fucking bow breaks and everything pours off, and then there's blood everywhere, and oh my God, and there's fire and flame and destruction, and everyone dies. It's terrible. It's terrible. You don't want that to happen. It's like Pompeii. Just shit just goes fucking sideways. It just erupts. And everyone dies. Got morose? Not true, but you get the point. Having some fun with it. So movement's extremely important, but not at the expense. That's a good way to say it. Movement's extremely important, but not at the expense of stability. You cannot have proper movement without proper stability. So what we're doing with everything is we're reteaching the body. We're reteaching the body that stability belongs here, movement belongs here, and movement does not happen unless the stability exists. Because if you have that together, you're going to have a much safer, much more productive workout, training, physical function, and you're going to be better for the long term, I promise you. So thank you so much for joining me for episode 454 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, you flex. Biceps. Thanks for joining me. Remember, tonight at 8 p.m., core training workshop live in my premium community. So if you want to sign up, you still have a few hours to do so. Make sure you click in the description of this post, premium.swolenormous.com. You can try it for a week, and you can instantly access the workshop tonight, as well as all the prior workshops. So it's awesome. It's going to be very interactive, and we're going to have a good time tonight going over some exercise, answering any questions live in my premium community. So I'll see you all there. Thanks for joining me live every day, 12 noon Eastern time, right here on Facebook. And check me out on Instagram, as well as you can catch all the other episodes on YouTube, SoundCloud, and iTunes for the podcast. Right now, you know what? Right now, I'm going to go live for a few minutes on Instagram to answer any questions about the core training workshop tonight. I'll go live for about 5 or 10 minutes, or right after I sign off here, going live on Instagram at Swolenormous. Make sure you check me out there, because I'm going to go live, answer questions, core questions, any other follow-ups you have if anyone's thinking or on the fence to join tonight's workshop. I don't know why. It's going to be fucking awesome. But I'll see you tonight. Peace, McGee's, Deuce, Magoose, and I'll see all you on Instagram in a couple moments. Later.